to Joy of Business Radio, hosted by Joy of Business facilitators from around the world, with special shows from Simone Milasas, the founder and creator of Joy of Business. Are you bored or dissatisfied with your work or business? Joy of Business is an invitation to a completely new way of creating. Did you know your business and job can actually be fun and joyful? If what you are currently doing isn't working for you, listen into this show full of pragmatic tools from Access Consciousness, which change everything in business, from money to finance, staff, creativity, productivity, communication, and beyond. Joy of Business Radio, weekly on OMTimes Radio.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Joy of Business show. This is Rebecca Hulse. I'm back. I haven't been on the air for a while. And I have with me two great friends of mine. I have Laleh Hancock and Daria Hanson. Hi, ladies.
Hey, Rebecca.
I'm so excited to have these two on the show because they're not only Joy of Business facilitators, and one of them is brand new, actually. They are also Right Riches for You Facilitators, another specialty of Access Consciousness.
Honey, we get selected to spread the word for so many specialties.
Exactly. And we do have a topic today, which is when business and wealth meet. Now, this is a topic that I'm super excited to get into with these two because they not only happen to be Right Riches for You facilitators, but they happen to be the two boss ladies behind the scenes running the whole show, too. So I hope today that we're going to be diving into their secret of running a new but very successful business based on the creation of wealth. So I don't know about you, but that sounded fascinating to me when I found out that I could get these ladies on the air with me. So, Laleh, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you have been up to? Because, I mean, I know you've been on the show, but I don't think you've been on for a little bit. But I'm sure our listeners would like to know about this, this development of Right Riches for You.
Yeah, Rebecca, I am so excited. When you told me about the title, my whole body got so excited because it really is, wealth is not just about money and business is not just about money, but there's so much when the two come together to truly what's possible in being created, what to get out in the world, and include money in the whole way of creating it. And so I'm so excited. Being a Joy Business facilitator, I do get to play with a lot of tools that bring so much more insight into looking at your business, looking at your employees, looking at your systems, looking at the way that you actually communicate with your clients in such a different way. And then the end of May was our Right Riches for You facilitator program. So Daria and myself in the last month have actually been really busy working with our facilitators that are all around the world, and not only creating this new program as Daria and I creating it and then putting it out there for others to be able to utilize, but we've been working with each of the facilitators and creating a global business with them, looking at their expertise, looking at the things that they would like to invite others in the world with, and creating it step by step with them. And our facilitator, actually Rebecca, one of our facilitators, had her first class yesterday too. So we're just excited about how much has already been accomplished and out in the world in the last 30 days.
I have to share a little story about how these two ladies tricked me into this. So we all happen to be working on a class in Paris, and I happened to find, I was like, I want something luxurious and beautiful and in the Champs-Élysées, and Daria was like, well, I'm in. And so we found this gorgeous apartment, and then we added Laleh to the mix, and we had this great time in this beautiful apartment covered in, wealth and antiques, and we were talking about how I found this place And then these two ladies just subtly brought up in the conversation, oh, this so matches the energy of Right Riches for you. And Rebecca, are you coming to the facilitator training? And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm focused on Joy of Business. I don't really need to, do that. I'm so busy. I barely facilitate classes. And they just kept talking about, oh, well, it's so amazing that, you found this place and it so matches the energy. I mean, you seem to have a capacity for this. And slowly as the week went by and they kept on talking and just having this conversation about wealth and Right Riches for you, they hooked me in. And 2 weeks or a month later, I found myself at the Right Riches facilitator training and wondering, how did I get here? And then the same thing. I was just going to go to the class because it was going to be awesome and I didn't want to miss it. And are you seeing a similar theme happening here? And then all of a sudden I'm excited and I want to facilitate classes and I've already got them up on the website and they're done and it's amazing. And I'm looking at what else is possible. So whatever you do, don't listen to these ladies because they have great ideas and they will trick you into creating more.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Rebecca. Did we do that?
Yes, you did. and Daria, you are a big part of Behind the Scenes with Right Riches for you, and you were working with Kurt Gosal, who's also been on the show at the beginning. What is it that excites you about Right Riches for you and tricking people into creating more with the material?
Well, really is the message that Right Riches for You carries into the world. Money and riches and wealth is such a sensitive subject in the world. Most people don't even ever talk about money. They don't talk about money whether they have money or they don't have money. And most of our lives we spend hiding from our points of view about money, and either hiding whether we want money or we don't want money, whether we're happy with our lifestyle or not happy. It's kind of one of those embarrassing subjects that people don't want to touch. But what happens is that when we don't want to touch something, we avoid it, we're trying to hide it from other people, we perpetrate the lack of money on us more. The more we don't want to acknowledge what we actually desire, what we actually can create, the less we can actually actualize our desires into the world. And looking into what is possible with money rather than without money in the world, like what can we change with money and what can we change without money? And neither of them are right or wrong, but it is so much easier with money. So inviting people to actually acknowledge what they desire to have with money and with wealth and riches, and acknowledging the value of them and what they bring into the world is such a huge gift in the now, in the moment of the present and what is happening currently, but also what it creates for the future of next generations. That's what excites me.
I love this. I'm getting so excited about this conversation that we get to have. I want to know, what's your favorite tool that ties into, that creates, wealth or Right Riches for you with the Joy of Business? What's one of your favorite tools that ties in the both together?
There's so many tools. It's hard to just go, what's my favorite?
I know. Just one for this segment. One tool for this segment.
Well, the one that comes up for me right now, and I'm not sure if I'm pretty sure it's different for Laleh, is what's actually right about blank that you're not getting. Because there's so many situations in business and with regards to money that come up that is so easy to judge as right or wrong. And most of the time we go into the judgment of the situation as wrongness because it looks on the surface like that. But if you actually look at what might be right about it and twist it on its ground and create from the possibility rather than for impossibility of what it seems to be, then everything changes and so much gets to be created.
That's awesome. Is there one way that you've used this tool today or in the last day?
I used it every moment for the last 24 hours.
The go-to tool, huh?
It's my go-to tool in the last day.
I love it. Awesome. And Laleh, what's one of your favorite go-to tools?
You know, it's interesting. For me, one of the tools that I love, we talk a lot in Joy of Business about, and we also talk a lot in Right Riches, is financial awareness and knowing not just what your expenses are, not just knowing what your income is, but also factoring in what are all the different things that you would like to add to your life, whether it's personal development and training classes, whether it's certain things that you would like to, change in your life, get a new car, improve something, anything that you'd like to do, just that awareness of your finances. And the tool that I love is the 10% account. And prior to the Joy of Business tools, when I started my business almost 8 years ago, the first thing I would do every time a client paid me was I would pay 10% of my revenue, my gross revenue, to charities. And what was different is it felt great. I had this gratitude, but it wasn't the honoring of me or the business. And one of the things that I love about it is the Access 10% account is about, one, you knowing your finances. That financial awareness is huge. But two, right off the bat, it's about honoring you. And when you honor you, it's like magic, the way all these things around you honor you as well. And so for me, the first 10% will go to me, another 10% to my business, and then I will actually also contribute to charities and else. And it has not only changed how my finances are, but it also has really uplifted me and just valuing me and the skills and the talent and the things that I bring to the table, and not from an egotistical perspective, but truly from this gratitude and kindness of who I be as well. So I love the 10% account. That's one of my favorite tools.
That's awesome. That's one of my favorite tools as well. It really can create something different in the world too, and the sense of ease that it can create for yourself is something that surprises and delights me pretty much every single time I look at my 10% account, or the different currencies in my wallet that I also like to collect my 10% account in. It's just very funny because I warned Laleh and Daria before the show that I have no idea when the breaks are. But guess what? There's one right now. We're winging this. Stay tuned. This is Joy of Business on OMTimes Radio. We've got Rebecca, Laleh, and Daria.
No one needs to have a money problem, especially you.
Yeah, did you hear that? You have an unlimited and mostly unaccessed capacity to create money and a financial reality that works for you. Simone Milasas has a brand new book. It's called Getting Out of Debt Joyfully. And right now, when you go to gettingoutofdebtjoyfully.com, if you pre-order the book, you'll get a free online course. What if you can create money in ways no one else can? Just go to gettingoutofdebtjoyfully.com to get your copy today.
Host your show on IOM-FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM-FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
Hi, this is Sylvia Henderson, intuitive life coach and energy healer. Are you ready to elevate and rise way above your normal? Be sure to listen to my show, Intuitive Transformations, on OMTimes Radio, Sunday evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern. Get the inspiration you need to transform your life.
The number one reason girls drop out of school in sub-Saharan Africa is lack of access to feminine hygiene products. The Pads for Schoolgirls Project, an outreach of Humanity Healing International, is changing this paradigm by setting up sewing programs at schools, teaching girls a vocational skill while producing the reusable pads that help keep them attending classes. The girls pay it forward by making and giving pad kits to other girls in need. To learn more, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is. The cutting edge of conscious radio, OMTimes Radio, IOM FM.
Welcome back to Joy of Business. We today are talking about when business and wealth meet with Rebecca Hulse, myself, and Laleh and Daria. And I made them pick one favorite tool before the show that they both love, but that was a little hard and limiting. So I think I'm ready to, invite them to share some of their other favorite business tools and tools that can help you generate a crazy wealthy business. Who wants to start?
I can start. It's Laleh. It's funny because when you did ask the tool, I had like 25 of them that popped in my head. And then now that you said it, I'm like, wait, which one comes to mind? And it's the one that says, it's the one that's like, who or what can I add to my business today? And it's really interesting because I've been asking this question a lot. I opened a new business in December, January timeframe. And I just love asking this question. And what it does is it opens it up, not just like what employees can I add to my business, but it's like everything. What new systems, what new employees, what new clients, what new environment. Like by just asking that question, I also found some great space for my office. So that, I have to say, Rebecca, is one of my other favorite tools.
And I love this particular conversation because, so much of what we hear is about maintaining what you have and going through the day-to-day and checking things off your list rather than, the creation of your business. Because if you create your business in every day and you're constantly looking at what you can add, it gives it a new energy and it feels, brand new every day. And that joy, that excitement, that creation, that asking for what else is possible is what, inspires ideas and it inspires different ways to create. And that's what, that's what creates the magic in your business. It's what creates a different possibility and more success than you could even imagine.
Definitely. And, it's funny, like I grew up with my dad loving business and growing business. And, he's done a bunch of different things when I was growing up. And there's always been this fascination. And I realized with the Access tools that it was the constant creation and it was the constant curiosity. Like my dad would always ask, okay, now what else can I do? Now, who else can I talk to? Or, hey, we have this system going or we have this particular procedure going. Like, can we improve it? Like there was always curiosity and questions in his world. And that's the other piece of what I love about the Joy of Business tools or the Right Riches for You tools. It's about you, like you said, creating every day as though it's a new day. You take the information from what you created yesterday, but it's not about saying, okay, now we perfected it. It's like, okay, that was yesterday. Now today's a whole new day. And how can we create for today and also the future so that we're constantly ahead of really where the business desires to be as well?
And that there is a magic question. Hope you guys all got that one. What can you create today that will add to this and the future? And Miss Daria has nothing to say about her favorite business tools.
Well, I think my favorite business tool is actually never come to a conclusion because nothing ever looks the way you think it is. and it should look.
I love keep going. I was just going to say, I love your way of reminding us of the simple tools where you're like, damn, I need that one. But I forgot about it. And you hear it in this whole new way and this whole new idea. And it's like, oh my gosh, the light has made this shine. This is such a brand new tool, even though you're going, oh my God, how come I've never thought about this before?
But that's the thing. It's like if you are really functioning from everything is just a choice and that no choice is actually good for longer than 10 seconds because it opens up a new awareness and you could choose again. If you use it in any business situation, you actually continuously open up possibilities and the new doors to new revenue streams, new income streams, rather than going, okay, well, this is the 3 income streams that I have, and how do we profit based on these 3 income streams, rather than going, okay, these are the 3 income streams that are currently making our business work and profit, and what are our income streams that we don't even look at, and our assets that if we looked at them would add to our business even more. So it's like that's like one of the millions of examples of, instead of looking at the fact as the only answer and the only possibility, always adding, and what else is possible, and what else am I not looking at, and what else is there, and is this what it looks like, or is it something else? Because so often we look at the numbers as like business person and person who deals with accounts all the time. If I were to look at numbers and conclude this is what things are, it would be in completely different situation compared from this is what it is today, and what can I create with this, and what will be available to me tomorrow. So instead of concluding either way, it's being in the question and following the energy of what's required to be looked at and dealt with and act on, rather than going, this is what I think needs to be taken care of. And once you start using this tool of never concluding and really being in the question, you actually start perceiving different possibilities, and new things will show up that you did not even expect to show up in business.
That is so cool. Don't we all feel like we have something fresh and different to look at, even though it's the same thing now? I definitely do.
That's what I love about the questions, Rebecca. You know,
me too.
Yeah. You know what? It's so funny. Like, I remember, like, in school, when you learn something in school, like, and then they talked about it again, it just seems so boring and, like, I've already been there, done that kind of thing. Let's move on to the next topic. But when you look at the Joy of Business tools, when you look at the Right Riches for You tools, you can hear the same question 2 minutes later, an hour later, 2 years later, whatever. It just opens up a whole new world of possibilities, and it just gets you to look at things that, like these aha moments that just pop with a question. And that's the piece that I love. It's like you can never ask the questions enough, and you can never really get, like, it always keeps opening the door to something new that you just may have not even considered yet. So I don't know. It's so different than, thank God it's so different than school.
Right? And the more you use these tools, the better they get. I mean, it's like the more you drink a glass of wine, the better it gets. The more you use these tools, the better it gets. Like same effect applies. We can call it the wine effect, or the, it's probably a better name than that. But
when you have wine, even in a business meeting, if you add wine, the points of view melt away, the conclusions melt away, and suddenly you're like in this creative mode, and ideas are popping all over the place, and no one is making those ideas real or serious or significant, or it literally opens up the space of creation, and whatever will stick because it desires to be created. But most of us function, and I'm not saying we all have to drink to continuously be in the creative space, but my point is the drink, like the significance dissipates when you're playing. So what if we could take that play that gets to be there when we have a drink and we are in a good company with our friends or people we enjoy and admire and be inspired by, and take that in the business and dealing with the money and dealing with people and creating different possibility in the world, then you function from this, oh, nothing is real. Everything is just a choice. What can I choose now? And have fun with it. And when you have fun, so much more gets to be created rather than, oh, my God, I have to do A, B, C. Where's my to-do list?
Exactly. Just add wine or the energy that wine can bring, of that of inclusion and not taking things too seriously, which, you know, it's the joy of business. As you can see, we don't really take anything too seriously, apart from maybe creation.
Yes.
But even then, I'm not so
Definitely.
sure.
Mm-hmm. But you know what, Rebecca? It's funny because, you know, I was in the corporate world for a very long time and not for profit. I work with governments, and there is this misconception that, you know, if it's not serious, the work isn't getting done. Or if we didn't work hard, then, you know, then all the work wasn't done correctly or something like that. And what's funny is when I do look at all the times in my career where we had the most successful projects, we had the employees who really felt really good about coming to work, and the projects were not easy or whatever, it was the moments of joy. It was the moments of the laughter. It was the moments of getting together with your staff who's working till midnight to get something done and having dinner together while we're all working. It really is those moments, not the seriousness, but the moments where we are actually being ourselves and having a good time while we are creating, while we are making sure the project is delivered on time and delivered to the best that it can be. And it's like, it really is like, I know you guys know that because I get to hang out with you, but like truly inviting everyone who's listening to this now and in the future, like what else is really possible that you haven't even considered with your work, with your projects, with your colleagues, with your boss, with the business, and really allow it to really create something greater.
And that is the segment of Joy of Business. See you on the next break. Don't go away. Laleh, Daria, and Rebecca.
Have you ever wondered how to change your love paradigm? The secret key is finding a love partnership, not just a regular connection. How do you find these? Through conscious relationships. Ascending Hearts Dating is a dating site for people like you that believes in second chances and a different type of spiritual connection. Try Ascending Hearts for free today at ascendinghearts.com and change your love paradigm. Ascending Hearts, the premier dating community for the spiritually awake.
Radio Namaste leads you down the yellow brick road into portals of consciousness with the blue-collar goddess as your host. Interviews with humans who could be famous or just popular, and answers to everything are on the agenda. Tune into OMTimes Radio and drop in on Thursdays at 3 Eastern. It's a different brand of enlightenment.
Host your show on IOM-FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM-FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
Putting the fun back in business. Wake up, go to work, come home, watch TV, go to bed, repeat. Business, work, your job, hate it, bored, want to leave it? Or business, work, your job, fun, play, joy, fun. Which would you like to choose? You may not know this, but business, your job, work can actually be fun. Shake up your business routine. Check out my 3-part free video series on putting the fun back in business. Go to accessjoybusiness.com/fun and put the fun back in business.
Connecting you with the best of the conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM.
welcome back, or welcome forward, everyone, to When Business and Wealth Meet, our Joy of Business radio show this week with Rebecca, Daria, and Laleh. And I was talking to them over Skype in the break about what is it that we would like to have, like what is the kind of conversation that we want to be having. And I was listening to the ad on the break of Simone talking about, putting the fun back in business and creating something different. And it made me wonder what tools and ways these ladies were using these tools to get you out of the box, to get you out of, just looking at, your profit and loss statement or what you need to do today. And we started to have this conversation, but I want us to dive in deeper.
Deeper. Well, that's an interesting invitation. What is deeper?
Well, I'd like a little snippet of what your day-to-day lives are with using these tools and what you're working on and what you're creating here with them. I mean, Right Riches is a bit of a brand new baby, actually, and I know what that's like. Joy of Business has been there, and it definitely can demand a lot of your energy and attention. So it makes me wonder.
It screams every morning. And the best, the tool that I use every day with Right Riches for You as a business, because I'm also part of so many other businesses and projects, is what is actually required of me today. And the tricky part is if you have a point of view what is required of you today, meaning you have your to-do list from yesterday or from a month ago, you haven't completed yet, it is hard to perceive what actually is required of you. So I help myself with another tool, and I briefly mentioned that it's an interesting point of view. So if I wake up and I hear banking or Right Riches for You or Joy of Business or streaming for Access Consciousness as a project that needs my attention now, I actually step back for a few seconds and go, interesting point of view, I have this point of view, until that huge energy, that charge that makes me react and jump on it goes away. And then I sit back and I go, okay, well, right now, what is actually required of me? And then I would suddenly be like, oh, I actually have to go and make myself tea first. And then you make a tea and then you go, okay, what is required of me now? And between tea and that next moment, you'll get a few messages, you'll get a few emails, you'll have a few calls coming in or whatever else is happening. You actually perceive the energy of what is the next energy that actually requires your attention, rather than this noise of things that all are happening at the same time. It's kind of like looking at a field of different magnetic, what would you call it? The vibrations. If you were to look at the cellular field of all these connections happening, one of the movies, I think it was Limitless, and there's all these strings, and you need to go and perceive the one string that you actually need to work with right now, and that one string will lead you to the next string. And that creates so much ease, because by the time you get to the string that seemed to be the first one you had to deal with, so many things already have changed there energetically or not energetically, that now you have more space and clarity on what actually is required there. Or I've had so many situations where this one message would yell at me and go, Daria, do me now, do me now, do me now. And I'll be like, no, that actually is not the message I have to take care of right now. There's this other message that is quite quiet, but I know I need to take care of it based on this question that I asked. And then when I go back to this message that was screaming, that message was already actually taken care of, or what was asked of me is completely the opposite of what was asked originally, which actually brings me to another tool of what's lie and what's true, because very often lie has a lot more energy attached to it, and so you perceive the dynamics of demand of the lie And so you think you need to tend to it, but if you leave it alone, it actually will settle yourself up and then come back to you with a new message that is true. And one of the examples was I was asked to pay this traveling tickets and through the credit card, and I couldn't get through the wire. Through the credit card, and I couldn't get to it for like a week. And a week later, I was asked, no, please, if you didn't pay this, please do not pay right now, because we actually need to send the wire. So, but you could, I probably would have paid it if I didn't follow the energy of what's next and what's required of me, and just went by the messages that are coming in their sequence and the ones that were yelling the loudest, pretending to be the ones that required to be done and taken care of now. I hope I made some sense.
You did. And this is, it takes a bit of practice, and you really have to, trust yourself and go with your knowing on this. But when you do it, you no longer have to make yourself wrong for all the things that you didn't do. You no longer need to, try and fit everything in and stress yourself out trying to do things that are unattainable and impossible to do anyway. And you no longer need to do things that 2 or 3 days later no longer become relevant. And to me, it's one of the best time savers I know, is to only do what's required and to look at what actually creates the most, which is, the definition of elegance, to create what is that quote? Elegance is the most effect with the least amount of effort. I think that's the quote. I don't have any memory at the moment right now. I am terribly afflicted with CRS, can't remember shit. It is a big medical diagnosis, and I am severely afflicted. So sorry, guys. If I can't remember anything, that is why. But this conversation and this tool is something that, to me, imagine if businesses could do this from an amazing sense of timing. And, so many things and projects that get created would be done, that are done in vain. I see this happen all the time, actually, where all these ideas come up and, people are stressing out and deadlines and things, and then, say in the media, it doesn't go to print anyway. And it can get really frustrating if that's, the industry you're working in. So using this tool and being aware of what is required when can save you a lot of hustle and stress. Laleh,
stress is not the funnest part.
Exactly.
Oh, she's here.
It's really interesting because when you said that, I was like, okay, so there's a couple things that came up for me, and I love the way you described it, Daria. It really is. It was beautiful when you were saying, just how your viewpoint of these questions, and I ask those questions every day too, but just hearing the way you shared it, it's once again, more awareness for me of wow, yeah, that, and this, and this, and this. And so thank you for that. Really got me actually cooking up some cool new ideas too in my head. It's funny when I'm asking questions, one of the things that I learned from Dr. Dane here is acknowledgement, and how important it is that we acknowledge. And most of us are busy. We're busy creating. We're busy asking questions. We're busy doing all the things that we be and do every day. And the funny part is that when you just do and you don't acknowledge what you've already done, what you've already created, whether it's energetically or whether you actually have something to show for it in a physical form, it actually exponentializes. So before I go to bed and throughout the day, I actually love to just have a little pop-up in my calendar that says, have you acknowledged yet? And go through my day acknowledging. I may not know what I did today that created for the future, but I know I did something. I know that energetically something got created. I know that I did 25 more things than what was on my remember to-do list. So when you do acknowledge, you, one, allow it to actualize, but two, it exponentializes. So, it's like a beautiful flower. When you put seeds in soil, how does it actually bloom? Well, you put water in it and all these other things that go into that seed turning into a flower. The same thing with acknowledging, which is a new word, even though it may not be in the U.S. dictionary. Taking and acknowledging. But it starts with you. Because we're so good at acknowledging other people. Like when they do something, we're right there to share our gratitude with them. We're there to let them know they did a great job. We're there to let them know that whatever they're bringing in the world is just beautiful and whatever else. But acknowledging starts with you first. It starts with you acknowledging what you've already been, what you've already done, and really the contribution that you are being for other people that you may never even know, but yet you're spreading these seeds around the globe. And so that's one of my tools that I actually love to use throughout the day, and especially before I go to bed.
I love that tool. And the term acknowledgize is actually coined by Francesca Fiorentini, who is another JCS that we've had on this show. So shout out to her. But in her wonderful Italian English, she would say, I would like to acknowledgize, which means, to acknowledge and actualize and exponentialize all in one. So it's a popular term in Access Consciousness now, that every single time someone says it, I think of her. And I do believe that she's talked more about this on some of the other radio shows we've done. So you might want to check out the Creation Beyond Borders radio show that's on the OMTimes archives for Joy of Business too, if you want to know more about that. The other thing I just wanted to point out to you guys, like if you're still listening to the show, you've been through 3 segments and you're kind of committed. So we would love your feedback. We want to know, what subjects do you want to know about? What do you want to hear from? Which of the JCS do you want to hear again? So you can send all that feedback to OMTimes at accessjoyofbusiness.com. You can do that right now in the break. Coming up, last segment.
What do you hate about business? And do you want to change it? If you don't want to change anything about your job or business, stop listening. You're all good. If you'd like to have money just for the fun of it and stop the negative self-talk, check out Joy of Business. This is about knowing what you know about business and creating more than you can imagine. Access Joy of Business 101 classes offered around the world. Go to accessjoyofbusiness.com/101.
As difficult as it is to believe, there are places in Africa where human traffickers sell albino children and their body parts for use in magic rituals. Humanity Healing International is actively working in Uganda to change this paradigm. The Albino Rescue Project finds albino children who are at risk and places them in safe schools and environments where they can learn and grow free from fear. To learn more or to sponsor a child, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is. Are you trying to get from point A to point B and need a little advice? Connect with the counselors at OMTimes Advisors. Whether you're looking for a life coach or a spiritual intuitive, the advisors participating at advisors.omtimes.com were carefully chosen based on their gifts, skills, and professionalism. OMTimes Advisors, connecting you with the best advisors in the business. Join Elliot Jolish, the business therapist, each Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern for the Elliot Jolish Hour, as he interviews business experts on your behalf. And you're invited to email your business questions to questions@ecjgroup.com for answers, live, on air every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern on the Elliot Jolish Hour. Your conscious connection to a more mindful world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
I'm having way too much fun, and it's made me realize that I should do more of these. I've missed them so much, and it seems like Daria and Laleh are having a bit of fun too. Is that true?
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Well, one of the topics that's come up in Joy of Business is the art, putting the fun back in business, which, seems to be an oxymoron. And yes, we're crazy. I mean, we named this company Joy of Business, 3 words that don't translate in any language, including English. And we're launching a little sub element of this, which is like a mini business, which is putting the fun back in business. And we have these brand new facilitators all over the world too that are facilitating this class from Brazil to Hungary, Sweden, Canada, the States, Australia, New Zealand, even India. And it excites me so much. So I wanted to find out a few weird and wonderful ways that maybe they haven't even shared before that these ladies are putting the fun back in business.
Putting fun back into business, one of my favorite actually sayings now after I took this GCF training. And the brochure for put the fun back into business is right on my desk, always by my side. Just as a reminder, one of the 9 tools, and one of them is what if life and business were easy? And that is something that, unfortunately, most people in business think that business is hard, and no wonder, because the word business comes from busyness. And to create ourselves as busy, most of the time we attach the definition of hard and a lot of time involved and effort, rather than how do I create the greatest impact possible with the least effort attached. Like, how do we create from elegance, and what does it take to create from elegance and joy, rather than constantly dragging our creations and our business into the hardship and the struggle of business. And most small businesses are associated as a struggling business. What if your business didn't have to be a struggling business? What if it's just our point of view that creates the reality? And that's what I love about putting fun back into business. Like, what fun point of view can you actually infuse your business with that would allow you to create with ease rather than with struggle? These are my 5 cents.
And I mean, it's not about, laughing all the time and having every meeting be a lunch meeting with wine and, traveling. And it's not about that, but it's this quiet sense of joy that you appreciate what you're doing and you love it, and what you're creating is something that, whether it accomplishes something great or it just gives you a sense of joy or that you appreciate it. By using these tools, especially the ones in the Put the Fun Back in Business menu, you can attain that, and very easily, and it doesn't have to be this thing that's done through outside activity. Like tool number 4 is, what would it take to be out of control, out of definition, out of limitation, out of form, structure, significance, out of linearity, and out of concentricities for all eternity with your business and you. Everything that is times a gazillion, can we destroy it and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, nature, it's boys and beyond. That is the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement, by the way. You can go to theclearingstatement.com if you want more information. But what it says underneath is my favorite part. It says, stop being a control freak. Be willing to receive from everyone and everything. Ask questions. And this, I think, should be like my personal mantra.
I think most of us need that too. Because we learned to control things, thinking if we control things, everything's going to turn out the way we think it is. But that's how we limit things. So that is one of my favorite tools, and I say that one a lot throughout the day too, because I catch myself where I want to go into that control place, and then that's not what's going to create the greatest. That's not going to be where I'm going to have the most creative ideas. That's not where I'm going to be able to be truly an inspiration for somebody else. So I love that tool.
And for me personally, the out of definition, out of control, out of limitation, all of it is really reaching out beyond your cultural point of view, cultural reach, beyond your education and everything that you defined yourself as based on what you do and what you have learned, and reaching out towards what do I actually know about this, whichever subject that is, business or money or creation or marketing. What do I really know about this that I pretend that I don't know?
I love this. And this is just some of the taste of what these ladies have to offer and what the Put the Fun Business Class has to offer. So how are people going to find you and what you ladies are up to? Daria, what are you creating and where can people find you?
What are we creating? There's lots to be created and being created. But the best place probably to find me and Laleh in one place is rightwhichisforyou.com or joyofbusiness.com. I think those are the really easy ways to find both of us, including Rebecca.
Exactly. And I have to say, the Joy of Business website is very bright and shiny, and there is so many new faces up there that it just makes me very happy to look at all these gorgeous new facilitators we have around the world from so many different places. The JCF training we just had was amazing, and I mean, I can't actually count how many facilitators we have now, but it's like 20 at least. So there's no excuse for not coming to a Joy Business class if you don't think there's one near you, because we have, JCF will travel, I think is these ladies' mantra, as is most of the facilitators. So I would just like to do to finish this last segment off. I want to surprise you two and do like a quick fire round of your favorite tools. So both of you first, what's your favorite tool on creating money?
Asking for more.
If I buy you, will you make me money?
If I buy you, will you make me money? That's awesome. Okay. Best tool for dealing with someone that's frustrating you in business?
Interesting point of view.
My other one for that would be ask for more allowance to show up. That's a good one too. Okay, best tool for overwhelm, if you feel like you're overwhelmed.
Expand out. How much space can you occupy that nothing can bother you?
Awesome.
I actually, what I like is what else can I add here? Because a lot of times when I'm perceiving I'm overwhelmed, it's really because I don't have enough going on. And when I do, like Daria said, when I expand out, I'm like, oh, I actually have the ability to do so much more and be so much more. I'm just more aware of other people who are overwhelmed because I don't really get overwhelmed.
Nice. And best tool for if you're feeling stuck or you can't come up with any new ideas?
What am I not looking at here?
Yes, what else is possible and what am I not looking at here? I know you guys are going so fast, you can talk over the top of each other.
It feels like we're doing like a test here. Who's going to be first?
It kind of is. But I hope it's a fun test. Awesome. This is
well, we're laughing.
Exactly. Cool. And okay, one more. What's one more that I can do? Okay, best tool for getting out of judging yourself.
Stop.
I like that. Stop it.
On that one, I actually like to ask who does it belong to. Because if I am judging, it's like, wait, is that really me or am I being somebody else right now?
I like that.
That's a great tool. Yes.
Yeah, and if you want to have a bit of comic relief, Google the video called Stop It, which is a therapist video, which is one of the things that
you will remember it forever. You will never
remember it forever.
Forget it.
It's one of our favorites. And I just want to do a quick mention, too, that Business Time, an amazing telecall with Gary and Dane, has just started. And it is something that I think that no one should miss. So if you can check out accessconsciousness.com/business time. His tagline for it is, 1 minute in heaven is better than 3. So I look forward to finding out what that actually means. And I know that these ladies will be on it, too. It's throwing us all in a bit of a tailspin, actually.
We all are looking forward to this Business Time call with Gary Douglas, because we all are working with Gary Douglas on a daily basis, and what he has been able to open up in our world of being different with business and creating from what we know is beyond anything I could ever get out of the business school.
Definitely.
For sure. He is the most different businessman in the world that I think we have ever had. So
Thank goodness.
Right?
He's been able to create, $20-some million organization because he is looking different. And I've worked in corporate, I've worked in so many environments, large companies, small companies, and the way that he actually looks at all the pieces, and he really has gratitude for every single person. I've never met anyone who has this level of gratitude for every single person in his organization.
So shout out to Gary Douglas. Thank you, Laleh and Daria. And
Thank you.
Thank you.